you're one of the three most important people in his life as well. So does that make you feel good?
Makes me feel very good. Those guys are funny.
And then offensively, was it really nice to see those 12 runs today? What was kind of the key to really bust it out?
Yeah, I think this team, early in the year set a bar so high for really good offensive baseball, and the consistency of it was what was impressive to me, and we're always searching for better as we're going along. I think relative to today, I thought we played in what I would call our best character, loose, free, confident, aggressive, with a good plan. And then I think I like several things about it. Obviously, Derek, that was a great start to the game, especially after giving up 2 in the first. And then that was the only one we got, but we put some pressure on them. And then in the second, good swing by Luis. It was great to have him have a good day today. And then we didn't get the guy in again from third. And then, they make the pitching change to try to match up, and he does exactly what he needs to do and got that run in. And I think everybody just kind of relaxed a little bit when we did that. And that's very natural. When you're going through something, then they walk Jared, and then they go to Tegan Kuhns, who's one of the best freshmen in the country in terms of talent. And, 96 mile an hour ride fastball. We felt like we had a pretty good report and plan on him, and Jake got it really good right there. That was one of the swings of the year, just in my opinion, of doing what you needed to do against the pitcher you were facing, and then positively impacting the game. And then I really liked how we continued to add on, as the game went along. And it wasn't like and the last swing was a big swing for, a couple runs there. But, solo homer by Michael. We got 2 guys on, really good at bats again by Michael and Luis, execute a bunt with Chris, Derek, line drive up the middle. So I thought that was just a real complete game today, against really good arms. I mean, the one guy that threw Friday night, he was up to 100 Friday night, and, we did a good job against him today. And, forced them, past maybe some of the guys they want to go to. And when you have good hitting teams, and this happens sometimes, that can really help you. And just a good performance all the way around.
What did you say to Case and Evans after that first inning, getting behind, and then going scoreless for the rest of his outing? He's one guy you don't have to say a whole lot to. Again, it's a really good team, really good offense. Lineup length, just about as good as anybody. Old hitters, good hitting coach with Josh Elander, so they were prepared. And he took a bump in the first. They actually had a pitch they knew was coming, the second RBI, and we got that fixed. It was a very odd situation how that happened. And then we were able to get out of that with a 2 was a big deal because there was 2 guys in scoring position. So to me, the coach in me, that's what I'm proud of, is like, okay, he gave up 2, but then how about the rest of the game? And really just try to manage his emotional deal because he runs hot in the best way possible as far as competitiveness. And I just, he was in such a good place pitch count-wise because he was getting quick outs. But mentally, you want to make sure he stays in a good place. And he's got the it factor. I mean, those 2 are special. They're really special. I know there's been some great players that have come through this place, and at least for the starting points of their career, they're up there.
Just how valuable is it that you can have a big guy like Case and pitch only 10, 11 pitches one weekend and get you a complete save, and then come back and throw 85 in a starting role? Just the versatility there.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. And we've put ourselves in a decent spot, and part of it was you don't have a lot of guys that have been through this. And so you need to win games when you have a chance to win games. And he's been a big part of that. Missouri, 7-6. Then Mississippi State, 2-1. He finished that one off. Oklahoma, I think we ran him for 3 against Oklahoma to finish the second game to clinch a series against a great team on the road.
we couldn't get the lead at Auburn, unfortunately, in any of the games. And then last weekend, was it Alabama? I already forgot. He finished out a tight one there, and a good comeback win. And so you add up the totality of that and then look at where all those teams are in the RPI, that's a pretty big impact. And then just with the amount of innings we needed to cover against a really good offense, I just went into the weekend, going like, hey, this could be what we're going to do. If we would have tied or had the lead last night as the home team, we would have done it, but we couldn't do it unless we were tied or ahead because of the volume he needed to cover today. So really proud of him, and that's where he'll be. Whether that's next weekend, I don't know, because like I said, we've put ourselves in a pretty good spot, and so we need to keep executing wins as they come along. He obviously is going to need probably an extra day because of going 85 pitches, so we'll see, and we'll go from there.
Hey, Jay, just kind of
Eric Sorensen,
yeah.
let's go, give me a hug. Come on, let's go.
Let's do it, brother. Good to see you, man.
What's going on?
I caught you on a good day.
Crazy Californians, so.
Work with me on this one. I think the last time I saw Derek Curiel play was at the area code games a couple years ago. Little skinny high school kid. Well, he's still kind of skinny, I guess. But what have you seen like from him? I know it's still just his freshman year, but what have you seen from him just in the past few months?
Mental and emotional maturity and stability. The baseball skills are easy to see. Once we got him committed, and this is a guy that seventh grade I was talking to at Arizona. You know what I mean? So I knew the player was there, and then go to the area code games, and he's running balls in the gap, and it really became, okay, if he becomes physically strong or physically mature before that draft happens as a senior, it's going to be almost an impossible keep because you don't see players of his skill set. He has put on, about 15 pounds or so, 17 pounds. I believe he looks better, stronger than when he showed up here. And then just that mental and emotional stability has allowed him to transition that talent into skill on the biggest stage in college baseball. And there ain't nobody we want at the plate more than that guy, right now.
So Michael Brazwell hit his first homer of the season last night, and then he hit another homer today. What have you kind of seen from him? Had a really big weekend out of Brazwell.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. It was a great weekend out of Michael, and I think the at-bats have just continually gotten better as we've gone along in the season. He got off to a little bit of a slow start. Defense has never wavered. To have two shortstops on the left side of the infield is a really big plus for our team. I think defense was a key in us winning this series, and but offensively, in the midst of us, not maybe being at our peak for a little bit of time here, he's one guy that has just kept taking really good at-bats and kept working, and it's just like you could tell there's nothing else going on. He's competing in the moment and, playing his best baseball of his career, really right now, and proud of him for that.
Specifically as a starter, what do you like about Kaysen?
Everything. Compete factor, pitch mix, strikes, is unaffected by small things, and you run into more small things when you start. And so the maturity piece, like those two they're different. It's when both of them committed and when both of them said, hey, there's no MLB now, I'm coming to LSU. Those were good days, and it's really hard to know what you were getting. And they've both been great. But I knew we were getting something. I can't sit here and tell you, as dominant as both of them have been, that I would have predicted that fast. But you knew you were really getting something that are, program staples. When people talk about this place this year and the next couple of years, those are the guys that they're going to be talking about.
Derek was talking about just the character it showed for you guys. Drop a midweek game, come back and win Friday, lose last night, run ruins today. Just the bounce back mindset that it takes to win those games.
Yeah.
Is that something that you feel like can carry y'all into some big time.
Yeah, we want to. There's an opportunity to learn and improve through just about anything if you look for it. And this week provided a lot of them. Kind of the deal from Tuesday night was learn the lessons and then leave the moment. And I thought we did a great job of that this weekend. There was no carryover from that game, which was a tough game. And then last night, I thought we took a really good step as a team with our post-game meeting. And I saw some real maturity in some of the players, and the staff, and taking really good ownership, and then immediate turnaround for improvement today. This is a good day today, and again, not just winning the series against one of the teams, but it was a good day for our team and our program today in a lot of ways.
Ashton seems like he's still kind of banged up. He came out of the box pretty slow.
Yeah.
Probably would have been a double, but
yeah. Oh yeah.
So how is he able to swing but also have trouble sort of running?
Yeah, it's kind of like that guy loves doubles more than anybody.
Yeah.
So to see him pull up, I was giving him a hard time about that. But what toughness to be able to do that and put together the caliber at bats that he has this week. And when you get at bats like that, you'll take that, and then we can come up with an alternate plan. But I'm really proud of him. Again, I mean, the highest of character guys, and has not only accepted but embraced his role. Hit with him individually often just because he's ate up with baseball and loves being at LSU and has been really ready to go. Like he's probably 20 right now, 19 or 20, but when you talk to him, you feel like you're talking to a 45-year-old highly successful CEO of some big company. And I mean that with the greatest respect.
So it's the foot and the quad now, or is it just
all I know about is the quad. Now he did hit a foul ball off his leg twice in the last 2 days. So I don't know anything about that, honestly.
What does it say just like about the depth of the team that you're able to put in guys to pinch hit, like John came in last night and hit a homer, and just be able to trust them that they're going to take those quality at bats every time? I
think it's easy to, because I get to see what happens here on a daily basis. Like, John Pearson, head coach, can kind of come in at 10 today, and it's one of my favorite things. Get out of that office, down in the cage, and do that. And I'm just throwing to this guy. It's like, man, I gotta get this guy more ABs. It's a homer. So really good future for him here. And when I say that, I mean opportunities, coming up, which is awesome. And I think he's going to be one of those guys we're going to love seeing coming up with runners on base for 3 years.
Is it vital to? I'm sorry, Isabel.
You're good. Go ahead, Corey.
No, you go. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry.
Ladies first.
Jake Brown hit that 3-run homer in the beginning to really break open the score for tonight and everything. What have you seen from him kind of over the past few weeks, and especially going into next week and SECs?
He's just improved. He's a great athlete. He's a great athlete. He's a great competitor. I always, I'll look at guys' countenance in the box, and when I'm giving signs and how they're carrying themselves. I always feel good when he's up there. Like, he feels like, let's go, it's on. You know what I mean? And he's a good athlete. He's a good competitor. I think that's benefited from how we do things here. And he loves being here as a Louisiana kid. And I think we're continually seeing a little bit of an ascent, and I would expect to see that. So, like I said, it's one of the ABs of the year for our team, today. And, it was really cool just to see him execute what he needed to be successful right there and in that moment. And then you learn some lessons still. We went to the bottom of the zone with a slider off Arvidsson, which we'll make sure he doesn't do that next time.
Time for a couple more?
Is it vital to have a spot? Sorry,
go.
Is it vital to have a spot in the lineup where you feel like you can sort of change the dynamic of the lineup with a righty or a lefty, having that sort of?
Yeah, it helps, and the prep kind of helps us get guys lanes, and then you can, like he hit the homer off Dylan Loy last night, who's really good. I mean, he came in the SEC championship game last year and made it hard on us. But we had John ready for Dylan Loy, and we didn't do much off of him other than him. So you love to see that. Certain guys work against certain types of guys, and
it is nice to have the depth to be able to do that. And I think what's cool is it's evolving because guys are getting better as we're going along, just like, Jake Brown I mentioned. So that's part of it. I know it's all wins and losses and results and this and that, but the fact that guys are improving gives us the opportunity to do that.
Depending on how things go in a weekend, you could use Case in different roles as time goes on, or are you still kind of deciding? Or?
Well, we have,
Yeah.
And so we'll do what's best for him, number one, and then do what's best for our team, number two. I think, when you look at what we're trying to accomplish, we've put ourselves in a good spot to where we need to be smart about how we do that. And it'll be well communicated as it was going into this weekend. Like, he knew exactly how we were going to operate this thing this weekend. And that's why I didn't want to answer your question last night. You didn't even know, did you? Can't put my cards out there, But again, like I said, it's a great thing about being at LSU. Everybody wants to know the game plan before the game starts, but what they don't understand is if I tell you guys, I could be telling somebody on the other side it might not make the game plan as effective, and don't want to do that, but he's so good it might not have mattered.
All right. Anything else for Coach?
Let him leave on that note. That was good.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
Coach.